Zimbabwe has officially declared an end to the cholera outbreak after 18 months of response to diarrheal disease. In a letter addressed to the World Health Organization, WHO, office in Zimbabwe on August 5, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Child, Dr. Aspect Maunganidze, said no new cholera cases have been recorded since June the 30th. Now, according to guidelines from WHO and the Global Task Force on Cholera Control, 28 consecutive days without a case signifies the end of a cholera outbreak. The cholera outbreak in 34,500 suspected cases to 4,221 confirmed cases, 631 suspected deaths, and 88 confirmed cholera deaths since the outbreak started. Now, we have Walter Chikanya, who we're going to be asking some questions to. Good evening, Walter. What informs or what steps are taken for such a declaration to be made?
It's exciting news that the government has declared that we no longer have cholera in the country. So there have been rigorous steps that were taken to make sure that we can be able to see and assess. So as a ministry, there is what we call a surveillance system that we have. So that surveillance system is one that we use to detect any outbreaks or any diseases that we might be having in the country. So the surveillance has clearly shown that now we don't have new cases all over. I think we saw quite exciting teamwork that came out of all this. So surveillance has clearly shown us that there's no more outbreak.
Right, Walter, cholera outbreaks have been recurring in Zimbabwe. Now, what needs to be done to ensure that this problem is dealt with permanently?
I think for us, as a plan for the country, I think we need to make sure that we adhere to some of the documents that we have. We have that multi-stakeholder plan that we have as a country. So that strategy could actually help us. So we have a multi-sectoral approach where we have different stakeholders getting involved, complementing the work of the ministry. So what we need to be able to do is make sure that we deal with the water problem that we have. We've got a serious challenge with water problem as a country, and we look at Harare being one of the most problematic ones. So if we can deal decisively with the issue of water, if we can have clean and safe water for the people, I think that will really go a long way in curbing any future cholera outbreaks that we might have. But also education is critical. We also need education that goes out into the communities and make sure that people know what cholera is.
Finally, Walter, what is your response or assessment really to the government's response to the outbreak?
Finally, I also think just my comment is that we saw quite a robust response that came from our government through the Ministry of Health. The surveillance team was very active. We were quick to pick some of the cases and being able to record the cases. I think the major problem was just that our water problem was very difficult to deal with the water problem, but a lot was done by the government and also other players, the churches, NGOs. We saw a lot of collaborations that were happening between the government and NGOs to be able to curb the cholera. Otherwise, thank you.
Konapo, ipapo pa ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.